Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode corporate filings so you don't have to, and this time we have INNODATA, a company that specializes in data engineering. Let's see if their annual meeting documents have any hidden secrets or if it's just plain business as usual. We will talk about a few interesting details from the documents like the company's executive pay and their auditors. We will also look at the key facts about the people who run the company and how they get paid. Let's dive in. So INNODATA is having its annual meeting in June of 2025. At this meeting, shareholders get to vote on some important things like who gets to be on the board of directors, if they agree with the company's choice of auditors, and whether they approve of how much the top executives are paid. It's like a corporate popularity contest, but with real money and power at stake. This confirms that the company itself is the one filing this information. This is standard practice, but it's always good to make sure we're getting the info straight from the source. Let's meet the nominees for the board of directors. We have Jack Abuhoff, who's been the president and CEO since 1997. He's got a long history with the company. Then there is Luis Folenza, who is a certified public accountant with loads of experience. Stuart Massey has a background in finance and investments, and Nauman Niktor, who currently serves as Chief Investment Officer of Blackroot Capital. The board has determined that Luis Folenza, Stuart Massey and Nauman Niktor are independent directors. This means they don't have any close ties to the company's management, which helps ensure they're looking out for the shareholders' best interests. Jack Abuhoff, as the CEO, isn't considered independent. During the past year, the board held 9 meetings. Each director attended at least 75% of the meetings. This tells us that the directors are actively involved in overseeing the company's affairs. The audit committee makes recommendations about who should be the company's independent auditors each year. They make sure the company's financial reports are accurate and that its internal controls are working well. Also, they check that the auditors aren't doing things that might make them biased. Luis Folenza is the chair of this committee, and the board has decided she is an audit committee financial expert. The compensation committee decides how much the executives and directors should be paid. The chief executive officer recommends pay packages for everyone except himself. They also use independent consultants to get market data and advice on pay so that the company pays competitive salaries. The nominating committee is in charge of finding and assessing people who might be good directors. They look for candidates who have diverse and relevant experience. They make sure there are people with financial skills and general smarts to work together. The board wants stockholders to approve BDO India LLT as the company's independent auditors for the year. Stockholder approval isn't required, but it's seen as a good practice. Here's a quick look at the fees paid to the auditors. In 2024, audit fees were $241,000 and audit-related fees were $12,000. This shows how much the company is spending to make sure their finances are in order. Now, let's talk about the people who run the show. Jack Abuhoff is the president and CEO. Marissa Espineli is the interim chief financial officer, and Ashok Mishra is the executive vice president and chief operating officer. Time for the paychecks. In 2024, Jack Abuhoff's total compensation was $67,750. Marissa Espineli made $2,179,000, $29,020, and Ashok Mishra earned $. Can go up and down depending on the year. Jack Abuhoff has an employment agreement that lays out what happens if he's terminated or there's a change in control of the company. If he's terminated without cause, he gets a hefty severance package. If there's a change of control, he gets even more. It's like a golden parachute, but hopefully it won't be needed. Marissa Espineli is employed at will with an offer of employment that includes health insurance and other benefits. This table shows the stock options and stock awards that the executives hold. Jack Abuhoff has quite a few options that are currently exercisable. Here's a look at what the executives could get if they're terminated or if there's a change in control. Jack Abuhoff could get a big payout if there is a change of control. It's good to have a plan in place, but let's hope it doesn't come to that. This table compares the pay of the CEO to the company's performance and to the average pay of the other top executives. In 2024, Jack Abuhoff's pay was $6,109,750, while the average pay for the other top executives was $4,389, and $400 investment based on total shareholder return was $74,005,666. Net income was over $28 million. $400 investment based on total shareholder return was $7045,655 and $665 and $7045,660. Net income was over $28 million. $400 investment. The non-employee directors get paid for their service. In 2024, Louise Folenza and Stuart Massey each made $99,998 and Nomon Tor made $208. The chairman gets paid more, as is common. Jack Abioff owns 9.1% of the company's stock. BlackRock owns 5.9%. This gives us an idea of who has the most influence over the company. The stockholders get to vote on whether they approve of how much the executives are paid. It's non-binding, but the board will consider the outcome. If stockholders have ideas for the 26th annual meeting, they need to submit them by December 26, 2025. There are specific rules for what needs to be included in the proposal, so what does all this mean for INNODATA? Looking at the information, INNODATA seems to be on a pretty steady course. The leadership team is experienced, and the board has independent members to keep things in check. The executive compensation is high, but it is tied to the company's performance, which is positive. One thing that stands out is the potential payout for the CEO in the event of a change of control. While these kinds of arrangements are common, they can raise questions about whether the executive's interests are fully aligned with the shareholders. Overall, INNODATA appears to be a well-managed company with a clear focus on data engineering. There are always risks and opportunities in the business world, but INNODATA seems to be in a decent position to navigate them. Thanks for watching. If you found this decoder useful, please like, comment and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate filings. See you next time.